The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Admiral Chen Wei stepped forward, her weathered face betraying no emotion despite the gravity of the situation. Around her, representatives from 47 different species watched with a mixture of fear, awe, and barely concealed terror. "You're telling us," the Thraxian ambassador wheezed through his breathing apparatus, "that your species volunteers for this mission?" Chen nodded curtly. "That's correct, Ambassador Klex 9. Humanity accepts the assignment to investigate and neutralize the void sphere approaching Sector 7 Alpha." A collective shudder rippled through the assembly. The void sphere, a phenomenon that had consumed 3 entire star systems in the past solar cycle, leaving nothing but empty space where billions of lives once thrived. Every species in the galaxy had attempted to understand it, to fight it, or simply to flee from it. All had failed. The crystalline Zephyrian delegate chimed in harmonious terror. "Admiral Chen, surely you understand the implications. This is not a battle that can be won. This is the end of everything it touches." Chen's lips curved into what the other species had learned to recognize as a human smile, an expression that somehow managed to be both reassuring and absolutely terrifying. "Ambassador, you clearly don't know much about humans." She activated her holographic display, showing Earth in all its deadly glory. Storms that could tear apart starships, volcanic eruptions that put small nuclear weapons to shame, crushing gravity that would flatten most galactic species, and an atmosphere so corrosive with oxygen that it was literally poison to the majority of known life forms. "We call our homeworld Mother Earth," Chen continued, her voice carrying the weight of millennia of human experience. "It's a Class 12 death world that tried to kill us every single day for millions of years. Ice ages that should have ended our species. We made art in caves and told stories around fires. Supervolcanic eruptions. We rebuilt. Asteroid impacts. We evolved." The Aquarian representative, a peaceful being of pure energy, flickered nervously. "But Admiral, the void sphere doesn't just destroy, it unmakes. It doesn't kill. It removes things from existence entirely." "And?" Chen's expression didn't change. "We've been dealing with extinction-level events since before we could even speak. Do you know what we learned? Every ending is just a new beginning wearing a scary mask." She switched the display to show human history, the rise and fall of civilizations, the collapse and rebuilding of societies, the endless cycle of destruction and renewal that had shaped humanity for eons. The Mongols destroyed half the known world, and we used their trade routes to connect continents. The Black Death killed a third of Europe, and the survivors built the Renaissance. We split the atom and held the power to end all life, and we used that same knowledge to power our cities and reach the stars. Captain Sarah Okafor, Chen's second-in-command, stepped forward. Her dark eyes held the same unsettling calm as her superior. "Every species we've encountered sees the void sphere as the ultimate enemy, but we see it as data, as a problem to be solved, as something that exists, which means it can be understood, predicted, and ultimately overcome." The Martellian hive mind representative spoke in its collective voice. "Your confidence is disturbing. This entity has unmade entire solar systems. Whole civilizations are simply gone." "Gone from your perspective," Chen replied. "But energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. Mass cannot be created or destroyed, only converted. If the void sphere is taking things, it's putting them somewhere else or changing them into something else. That's not magic. That's physics." She gestured to her crew, humans who stood at attention with the kind of relaxed readiness that came from living on a world that was constantly trying to kill them. "We've sent probes, we've analyzed the data, and we think we know what it is. It's not destroying things, it's translating them into a parallel dimensional matrix. A pocket universe, if you will." The chamber erupted in confused chittering, whistling, and harmonic confusion. "You're saying," the Centaurian delegate clicked through its translator, "that all those destroyed worlds still exist?" "We're saying," Captain Okafor replied, "that they exist differently, and if something can be translated, it can be translated back." Chen activated another display, showing the human fleet preparing for departure. Ships designed not for conquest or exploration, but for the impossible. Vessels built to survive the unsurvivable, to think the unthinkable, to achieve the impossible. Every species in this galaxy has tried to fight the void sphere with conventional weapons, conventional thinking, conventional fear, Chen said. But humans don't do conventional. We're the species that looked at the ocean and decided to live in it. We looked at the sky and decided to fly through it. We looked at space and decided to make it our home. The Admiral's voice dropped to a whisper that somehow carried to every corner of the vast chamber. And now we're going to look at the end of everything and turn it into the beginning of something better. As the human delegation prepared to leave, the Thraxian ambassador called out, "Admiral Chen, what if you're wrong? What if this truly is the end?" Chen paused at the chamber's exit, her hand resting on the doorframe. When she turned back, her smile held the weight of every human who had ever stared into the abyss and decided to build a bridge across it. "Ambassador," she said quietly, "we've been wrong before. We've died before. We've ended before. But here's the thing about humans. We're really good at not staying ended." The chamber watched in stunned silence as the humans departed, walking toward certain doom with the casual confidence of a species that had made peace with the impossible long ago. 3 months later, the void sphere stopped expanding. 6 months later, it began contracting. 1 year later, the first restored star system flickered back into existence, its planets intact, its civilizations confused but alive. And in the center of it all, broadcasting on all frequencies, came a familiar voice. "Admiral Chen to Galactic Council. Mission accomplished. Turns out the end of everything makes for a pretty good beginning. Humans returning home for debrief. Please prepare coffee, it's been a long day." Because for humans, it's never about whether you can survive the impossible. It's about what you build with the pieces afterward.